Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Keeneland Racecourse here on Saturday. It is April the 6th, 2019. I'm going to look at all the stakes races on the program from Keeneland, including the Bluegrass. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKit5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Also, check out my Wood Memorial preview video, and also if you're interested in jumps racing, today in England is the Grand National from Aintree, and I did do a video for that race and all the other races on that program from Aintree today. That looks like it's going to be an exciting race. Make sure you watch tomorrow. I think it's going to be broadcast on TVG here in America. But today's card from Keeneland, which you can also watch on TVG. They're not plugging me. They're not paying me to say that. But today's card from Keeneland is a very good card. We have a whole lot of stakes races, all stakes pick 5. Let's get on to it. We're going to look at races 6 through 10. The sixth race from Keeneland, it's the Commonwealth Stakes. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse $250,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 14 horses, so we'll have a full starting gate going the distance of round of 1,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the main track. 1,400, 7 furlongs. Top selection, I'm going to go to the number 1 horse, who is Coppertown. I'm going to go 1562 in the superfecta. 1562 super. Top selection to 1 horse Coppertown. 5-year-old horse by Spicetown. Tom Fletcher trains. Javier Castellano picks up the mounts. The horse's most recent outing came the 23rd of February at Gulfstream, 1 mile in the House Hope handicap. He finished second by 6 lengths. He didn't break all that well. He dueled on the front end, but then Prince Lucky closed up well at like 10-1 to get the victory first off the break. He actually won next start also in the Gulfstream Park handicap last week, but this horse, he just couldn't keep up. But it wasn't his day to win. Before that, the 26th of January at Gulfstream on the slop, 1 mile in the Fred Hooper handicap, he finished 7th by 14.5 lengths. He stalked, and he just never got the good closing kick. Also, according to the chart, he was very fractious before the race, so he was put on edge. It was Pegasus Day, so maybe it had something to do with it. And then the Cigar Mile, finished 8th by 10.5 lengths. He didn't break all that well, and it cost him. He just never really recovered after that. And then he ran here at Keeneland back in October of 6.5 and off 6-2 claimer. First start in just over a year. He won by 5 lengths. Again, he didn't break all that well. He closed up well from the back from stalking position, and he won very nicely. But since then, he's never really got that next step. He's due to have a good run. I'll take my shot with him again here today, because he does show some heart. If you look at his races in 2017, he won. He won 2 in a row. He ran 3 races there, and 3 good races. But ever since then, he just hasn't gotten to that second step. Like I said, I'll take my shot with him at 5-1 and a very wide open race. So to recap my selection for the 6th from Keeneland, it's the grade 3 Commonwealth. I'm going to go with the 1 horse Coppertown. I'm going to go 1562 in the superfecta. The 7th race from Keeneland now, it's the Shakertown Stakes. It's a grade 2 event going for a purse $200,000, races for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 13 horses going the distance of ground of 1,100 meters, or the distance of ground of 5.5 furlongs on the Keeneland turf course. 1,100 meters, 5.5 furlongs. Top selection here in the Shakertown, I'm going to go to the number 11 horse, Imprimis. I'm going to go 11-6-3-8 in the superfecta, 11-6-3-8 super. Top selection, 11 horse, Imprimis. This 5-year-old given by Broken Vow. Joseph Orsino trains. Paco Lopez gets the leg up. The horse's most recent outing came the 9th of March at Gulfstream, 5 furlongs in the Silks Run Stakes. The horse won by 3 1/4. He stalked early on, a little bit wide the straightaway, but it didn't matter. He got the victory and had a good run. Got a 109 buyer speed figure for that day, which was a career high. Before that, the Turf Monsters at Parks, 5 furlongs September the 3rd. He finished 4th by 3/4 length. He stalked the route, and he just never had that good closing kick. He didn't run half bad, but he just needs to get to that next step. And the Wolf Hill at Monmouth, about 5.5 on the 29th of July. He won by a length there. He had a little bit of wide poacher, which is, going 5.5 at furlongs at Monmouth. It doesn't, you can't be wide he just stalked early on. He got the lead, and then he took off. A very good run. But then they sent the horse before that to the Highlander at Woodbine, going 6 furlongs on the EPTR lawn, where he finished 6th by 4.5 lengths, and he just never had the good trip and had to steady a few times. Wasn't the day to win. But I want to go back to a race at Pimlico last spring, 5 furlongs in the Jim McKay Turf Sprint. He won by 5 1/4 lengths, but the ground was so soft. It was almost sloppy, heavy. The closest thing to a heavy ground you'll ever see here in America. But the horse won that day, and he ran the race in 103 and 4/5 of a second, which is slow. I think the track record or the average, time for that race is about 55, 56 seconds. So for 1 minute and three, they were crawling there. But I think they ran mile 16th that weekend at Pimlico in like 1:59, which is harness time, but that was a very slow lawn, but he still got the job done. But I like him a lot. His last race was impressive, and I'll take him here at 6-1 in a very wide open race. So to recap my selections for the 7th from Keeneland, it's the grade 2 Shakertown. I'll take the 11 horse Imprimis. I'm going to go 11-6. 3-8 in the superfecta. The 8th race now from Keeneland, it is the Madison Stakes. It's a grade 1 event going for a purse of $300,000. Race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 9 horses going the distance of ground of 1,400 meters, with the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the main track. 1,400, 7 furlongs. Top selection here in Madison. I'm going to go to the number 5 horse, who is Spiced Perfection. I'm going to go 5-4-9-6 in the superfecta. 5-4-9-6 super. Top selection 5 horse, Spiced Perfection. 4-year-old filly by Smiling Tiger. Peter Miller trains. Javier Castellano picks up the mount. The horse is most recent out and came out Laurel on the 16th of February. 7 furlongs in the grade 3 Barbara Fitchie. The horse finished second by head there. She sat on the rail that day. She had a little bit of a turn of foot from mid-pack from stalking position, but she just needed that little extra kick. But it wasn't the world's worst, but it wasn't the world's best race either. It was an average run. Before that, 26th of December at Santiniya, 7 furlongs in the grade 1 La Brea. The horse won by 1 1/4. She sat mid-pack most of the race, very wide, but she got the job done in the lane. A good run. And then the Betty Grable's Del Mar, 7 furlongs November the 11th. The horse won by 2 1/4. He stalked, got the lead, then took off clear. I like the stalking position for this horse. The workout line at San Luis Rey has been nice. Last 6 races have been nice. Finally getting the turn 7 furlong again, and I think this horse should really run well. Very weird that Peter Miller sent a horse to Laurel in the middle of February, but I just found that weird. But other than that, the horse has done very well. 7-2, I'll take him. Also, Javier Castellano doesn't kill. So to recap my selection for the 8th from Keeneland, it's the grade 1 Madison Stakes. Gonna go with the 5 horse Spiced Perfection. I'll go 5-4-9-6 in the superfecta. So now let's get to race number 9 from Keeneland. Race number 9 from Keeneland. It's the grade 1 Ashland Stakes. It's going for a purse of $500,000. This race is for 3-year-old fillies. We have a field of 8 horses heading to post a distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or a mile and 1/16 on the main track. 1,700, a mile 16th. Top selection here in the Ashland. I'm going to go to the number 5 horse, who is Feedback. I'll go 5-6-4-1 in the superfecta. 5-6-4-1 super. Top selection of 5 horse, Feedback. This 3-year-old filly by Violence. Chad Brown trains. Red Ortiz Jr. picks up the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 2nd of February at Gulfstream. 7 furlongs in the grade 3 Forward Gal Stakes. The horse won by half length. The horse stalked early on. He got the lead after pressuring, and he just took off. It was a very good victory. 85 buyer that afternoon, first off the break. Before that, the 12th of August at Saratoga, 6.5 in the main special weight for $85,000. The horse won by 8 lengths there, and again, he stalked early on, a little bit wide, but he got the job done, and then he took off. That was a very good victory. Keep in mind the second place finisher out of that race, the last 2 races, both won next start out. But since the last run, this horse has been training well at Palm Meadows. Distance, shouldn't be a problem. These mile 16th races at Keeneland with the first finish line tend to be more towards speed horses. This horse has speed from the inside, and I think she'll run well. If you're going to single in the pick 5, this is where you're going to single, because that's where I'm going to single. So watch out. So to recap my selection for the 9th from Keeneland, it's grade 1 Ashland. I'll go with the 5 horse Feedback. I'm going to go 5-6-4-1 in the superfecta. So now let's get on to race number 10 from Keeneland, which is the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes. It's a grade 2 event going for a purse of $1 million. Race for 3-year-olds here. Field of 14 horses heading the distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of a mile and 1/8 on the Keeneland main track. 1,800, a mile and 1/8. Top selection in the Bluegrass. I'll go with the number 2 horse Vekoma. I'm going to go 2-6 7-11 in the superfecta, 2-6-7-11 super, top selection 2 horse Vekoma, 3-0 colt by Candy Ride, Georgia Weaver trains, Javier Castellano picks up the mount. The horse's most recent outing came second in March at the Gulfstream, mile 16th in the grade 2 Fountain of Youth Stakes. The horse finished third by 2 3/4 lengths there, and he sat back early on. He had a little bit of a turn of foot, but the two in front of him, Code of Honor and Birdmore, just ran that little bit of a better race. But it was the horse's first off the break, so since he was a little flat, you probably expect him to need the run. Before that, the 4th of November at Aqueduct, 1 mile in the Grade 3 Nashua Stakes, the horse won by 1 3/4. He stalked early on after not the best beginnings, but then he got the lead, and then he took off. It was a very good run, and then at Belmont 6 furlongs, 23rd of September, made his best weight 75,000. The horse won by 1 3/4 lengths there. Again, he was wide, but he got the job done well there. I think the mile eighth shouldn't be a problem. He's a low post draw, and I think second off the break, you'll see a lot fresher horse than you did see in the Fountain of Youth, and I think he's sitting on a good run. I like the pedigree Candy Ride with this horse. I think he has a great mile and a quarter pedigree in him. With that being said, I think he'll do well in the Derby. Well, you just have to join me in 4 weeks to see what my thoughts are then, if he makes it. But he does have a strong chance here today. So I'll use him. Looking over the multi-race here, I think the 6-horse Dreammaker, I think he's a wise guy horse. He's either going to run a massive race or he's going to run shit at all. Or he's going to run a shit race. But I'll use him as insurance on the pick 5 ticket, along with another long shot, the 7-horse Admir. He's another horse. He's either going to run a big race or he's going to crap race. But I'll use him, like I said, as insurance. But to recap my selection now for the 10th from Keeneland, it's grade 2 Toyota Bluegrass. I'll go with the 2-horse Vekoma. I'll go 2-6-7-11 in the superfecta. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.